Okay, when you get done with steps 1 through 8, it should, and you've selected to flip it horizontally, it should print out like this. Okay, and you want to make sure when you print it out, okay, it's not going to print on the glossy side with the 2 stripes. It's going to print on the other side of the transfer paper that I gave you. Okay, and then that's what you should see on your screen before you print it out. And when you do, make sure that the paper, do a test print with regular paper to make sure it's right, like this. And, have another piece of paper that's already got something printed on there and do a test page. Put it in your printer on top of your paper that's already in the printer, to check and see that what side of the paper it's going to print on. And then you don't want to print on the side that's glossy with the 2 stripes. You want to print on the other side. You want it to print out on this side. Okay, we cut out, here's just the logo, okay? And the whole part that you cut out is actually going to stick. Okay, so it's not just the letters going to stick, the whole thing's going to stick. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And what we decided to do was take, identify the front of your shirt and then find where the collar crease here on the left side meets the shoulder, the seam, the collar seam meets the shoulder seam, then flatten it out. Okay. And it doesn't say to, but I'm going to use this. It's kind of like a cardstock. It's a little bit thicker paper. Alright, stick it up underneath here. Alright, and I still got my crease location right up here in this corner. Okay. It says to iron out the shirt smooth and get the iron at the hottest setting. Make sure you do not use steam. Okay. Now, to measure it and make sure that we have pretty much all the same. Okay, we're going to use a pen. Just use a regular pen. Right, this one's got the cap on it. Put one end of the pen on that where the seams come together at the collar and the shoulder, and try to go straight down. And then you take, after it's dried, and I ruined my first one, so learn from my mistake. After it's dried, okay, after this prints out, let it sit there for probably 5 minutes, or you're going to ruin it, okay, by smudging it. Okay, so I got my pen pretty straight, and what we want to do is at the very bottom of the pen should be your S. Okay, right there is where we want it. The S of St. Rose is going to be right there. And this is going to be lined size of the transfer paper, lined size up. Okay, and that's going to touch directly to the iron. Then I'll move my pen away. Make sure this is pretty square looking. Okay, move my pen away and just start ironing. And for a smaller one like this, it says, I think it's 60 to 90 seconds total. And you put pretty good pressure on it. Alright, get your body weight into it. Okay, I don't know how many seconds that is. Okay, just keep pressing it real good. And you can go ahead and turn it off. And I'll show you how it looks when we peel it off. After you're done, just let it cool off completely for at least 2 minutes. And that should do it. Right on here we got the back side of the shirt's laid down flat, and the creases or the seams of the shoulders you can see right up here, and then through the t-shirt you can see the front collar, the crew neck collar here, kind of go down like, looks like a smiley face. Well, we're centering the name at the bottom of that front collar, at the bottom of that collar, the bottom of the thick part of it, and that's where the top centered on there, the top of the name goes right there. And then below it, right below the name, is going to be the number, the top of your number. Now when you cut these out like this, okay, this material is going to stay on there, so it's important that when you're ironing it, apply a really good firm pressure. This came out real nice on the front side with the logo, but yeah, we kept the iron on there for about maybe a minute and a half and kept constant pressure on there. And I'm getting ready to do that on here too. Then you have to let it dry completely for at least 2.5 to 3 minutes, I'd say, and then you can go ahead and peel off this plastic backing part, and you should be good to go. Okay, so this name, the number you get down there, maybe about 3 inches. Let's call it 3 inches. Okay, below the name. Okay, and the name's going to be, the top of it's going to be right at the bottom of that collar there. That would be in front. Okay, so this is the back side of the shirt. So hopefully that all makes sense. We're going to be ironing here, and I'll show you the final product.